Welcome back if you're new here. I'm Brenda and this is Lost Nation Maple Homestead. Today we're going to be doing some gather your fragments type of cooking here. I was cleaning out the refrigerator and we have a couple of different leftovers of some things that I want to use up. I also have some zucchini and summer squash that I thought I might make a casserole with that. I've got some of my broccoli and some half and half and milk that needs to be used up, so I'm going to be making a broccoli cheese soup. I've also got some leftover taco meat that I thought maybe I'd make a taco soup with just for lunches for this week. Okay, so we had leftover zucchini and summer squash there. I've got my broccoli that I had gotten from the garden and frozen. I have some heavy cream and some half and half, and then some chicken stock. And then I had some double cheddar, or some cheddar cheese for the broccoli cheese soup. Cook things that I had, you know, rather than going to the store. Alright, so now I'm going to start on the taco soup. It's a relatively simple recipe. Again, I'm kind of using just fragments of what I had left over. I had some taco meat already left over, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that into here. It calls for 2 pounds. I have close to that in this container. That takes care of that. And then I don't need the taco seasoning envelope because I've already got that in here. It calls for 1 can of mild chili beans. And then a can of whole kernel corn. I've got to drain that. It calls for some pinto beans. And then stewed tomatoes. Pretty sure it called for stewed tomatoes. Maybe, yeah, stewed tomatoes. And then diced tomatoes. Okay, so I'm gonna go get a thing of diced tomatoes. Okay. So it's kind of just a hodgepodge of things, really. Some of the items you're draining and some you are not. Like the corn, you need to drain. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done first. Rinse that off. Clean strainer. Alright. I'm just going to go ahead and put this over here. Some room here. Alright, so we're going to drain our corn. And then the pinto beans need to be rinsed and drained. So I think what I'll do first is rinse and drain the pinto beans, and then I can just drain the corn right on top of it. Okay. Rinse these out. Those pinto beans drained and rinsed. The corn just needs to drain, so I've got that done. Diced tomatoes you do not drain. And the stewed tomatoes, doesn't say if you drain those either. I don't think you would because it's a soup. And then the chili beans, undrained it says, so we're going to go ahead and dump the chili beans right in there. They've got a mild sauce. Steve and I don't really like spicy foods too much, so I always buy mild. But that's undrained, so we're going to put that right in. Maybe. Okay. And then we've got the corn and the pinto beans. Stewed tomatoes. So the stewed tomatoes are in rather large chunks. I would think I'd want to cut that up. I'm going to just kind of run my knife down through here a little bit. I don't want... Oh, sorry about the vacuum. I just got that robot vacuum, and I am telling you what, I didn't think I minded vacuuming, and I really don't. It's just, it's hard, it's hard on my back. My back, something with the motion of pushing back and forth. I don't have enough core strength or something. But at any rate, since I got that, oh my goodness, I love it. I really want the mop so that I don't have to do either one now. But anyways, I'm sure that won't happen. But so there's that, and then the diced tomatoes. It calls for diced tomatoes with green chilies. Again, we're not really huge into spicy green chilies and that sort of thing. The taco alone is going to be spicy enough for us, so that's perfectly fine. And then it called for 1 envelope of ranch salad dressing mix. So because we're gathering our fragments, we had tacos the other night. I'm just going to pour this taco sauce into there too, just because that would, where I'm just using the leftover taco meat and stuff. See what that does to add a little flavor, I'm sure. Then it calls for ranch seasoning mix, 1 envelope. All right, I'm going to take a spoon, mix this up. I can't believe it doesn't call for any water. Oh, 1.5 1.5 cups of water. Whoops. Yeah, it does call for water. Okay. I should have used my big crock pot for sure. I'll just add some water and hope for the best. 1.5 cups, so over the cup. Well, that looks delicious. Okay, so the cover is over there. I'm going to take my pot holders because I had the crock pot turned on when I plugged it in. I didn't realize, but anyways, I'll clean off the top, and then I'm going to put the cover on. I'm going to put the cover on and let it cook. Yes. All right, I'm going to put together the broccoli cheese soup. Bake that in a stock pot, I think. Broccoli cheese soup calls for a half an onion, and I'm just going to saute that in about a 1/2 tablespoon of, or 1 tablespoon of butter. we mince ours up kind of small, even if we're sauteing them. Okay, so I'm gonna just take 1 tablespoon of butter. Saute the onion. Actually, I think I'm going to saute all of the onion and then just reserve out half of it. Oops, 1 stalk of celery. Okay, now I'm just gonna, because I'm gonna be shredding this anyways, just gonna kind of scrape off the edge. Just gonna grate this up. Maybe don't put down so hard. I did get a new one of these. I should use it. This thing's on its last leg. I've got a new one in the other room. I just need to get it out. But anyway, it calls for a cup of carrots, matchstick style, so that's what that does. I think I'm going to throw this out now. I'm going to just throw that out. These nuts is my other one. And then it calls for a stalk of celery thinly sliced. Funny, we're not crazy onion people, but I love the smell of onions. Something about it. Alright, so thinly sliced. Too much broccoli, 1.5 cups. You don't need all of this broccoli. 1.5 cups, it said. So I don't know. So when I froze my broccoli, or when I prepared my broccoli from the garden to freeze, I really only did the florets. I did just a little bit of the stems, but I need to be better about utilizing the stems of the broccoli. I'm sure that that would be fine, especially in a soup or something. That's about 1.5 cups. I don't think I need any more. Put the rest of this in the freezer. of melted butter and flour. So 1/4 cup, so it's a half stick. Melted butter. So we're going to melt this 1/4 cup of butter. Right in here, so I can use this for my extra onions. So I'm going to mix, there's a 1/4 cup of butter with a 1/4 cup of flour. We're just going to whisk that together. This is going to provide the slurry that we need to thicken the soup. I'm going to take half of these onions out and just reserve them in here. That way I don't spill them all. There we go. And then I'm going to leave those in there. Let's mess up. Okay. So I'm going to set the onions for the broccoli soup right here so that I can use this saucepan for my butter. Dear Lord. This segment of the video could qualify for a blooper reel. I'm not even focusing here. Okay, so I want to get this out. Cook this. Maple's heading upstairs. She can't stand the vacuum. Guys are crazy. Okay, so I'm going to be careful not to burn this. I'll add a little bit of milk if I need to. Let's see how much milk is in the total recipe. 2 cups of milk. 2 cups of milk. So I'll bring this over to the stove so that I can have it in case I need to add some in. This 3 to 4 minutes, so I don't want it to burn, so I'm being very careful. We're just thickening it up, and if it starts to burn, I can put a little bit of milk into it, and that will help that. I just need to get the air out of it. Just adding a little bit of milk. Don't want it to burn. I'm going to gradually stir in the milk. Cool. So I'm going to stir in the chicken stock and then just let it simmer. Calls for 2 cups of chicken stock. Okay. So I want to bring this to a simmer. Now that's going to cook about 20 minutes until it gets thick. So we will watch that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to work on is the cheesy zucchini and squash casserole. It calls for 3 medium zucchini, 3 medium yellow squash, 1.5 cups of heavy cream, a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, a teaspoon of parsley, salt, and then 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. So I have leftover zucchini. It's not cooked, but it's just what we had left over. So I'm just going to slice those into some thick rings. This one is a little soft, but I think it's going to be fine. It says slice into 1/2-inch thick rings, so. We've got some pieces here left over from supper the other night. I don't know why Steve kept those, but nice. Oh dear. Alright, so I add a little zucchini for some color. It calls for both. I don't have a whole lot of zucchini right this minute. I could go out into the garden and harvest some more, but I'm just going to go with this for now. This recipe is pretty good. See, that one is pretty seedy, but I mean, I'll cook some of it, I guess. Pick some off this end. I think that's all I'm going to do with that one. Okay. I've got a shallow circular baking dish. I'm just going to go ahead and put some of these around. There we go. Okay. In a separate bowl, I'm going to whisk together the heavy cream, the garlic salt, and the Parmesan cheese. So we've got 1.5 cups of heavy cream. 1.5 cups. cup of Parmesan cheese, but I'm going to put what's left over in here too, just to use this up. So this may not be a half a cup, but I can make up the difference. It's close, so I'm just going to make up the difference. There we go. Crunch up the solid pieces here. And then parsley salt. I don't even know if I have any. What is parsley salt? I'm just going to stir this up. Whisk together. We're going to do some whisky business here. Cream, the Parmesan cheese, and the garlic parsley mixture. Add just a little bit of pepper. Flavor it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to pour this mixture over the vegetables. I want to make sure they're all covered. That's good. And then you're going to sprinkle with mozzarella cheese on the top. I do have mozzarella. 2 cups of mozzarella. Holy heck, that's a lot of mozzarella cheese. Alright, so I'm going to use the rest of this package. Use that up. Okay. Bake at 350 for 30 minutes. Serve right out of the oven and enjoy. So I'm not going to cook this until tonight. So I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap. I'm just going to cover this plastic wrap and we're going to cook this tonight for supper. So 8 minutes left on broccoli cheese soup. So that one is done. Okay, the broccoli soup base is ready for the vegetables. Going to pour all of the vegetables in to the broth, and I'm basically just going to cook them about 15 minutes until they're tender. I'm going to let that go for 15 minutes. Turn it up just a little bit more. So the broccoli cheese soup is ready to have the cheese added to it. I first cooked the broth with the chicken broth in the milk for 20 minutes to try to thicken the broth. And now I've just simmered the vegetables for 15 minutes. You're just basically trying to get them soft. And this is the point where you can mash down some of your broccoli if you'd like it that way. I mean, I don't like all of it mashed, but I definitely usually mash some of it. we go. And I'm just going to add the cheese. So now it just really has to melt the cheese, and then it's ready to eat. So all you're doing is melting the cheese here. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh my gosh, that's my favorite kind of soup. And this really does compare with Panera's recipe. It is absolutely delicious. I cannot wait to have some for lunch, actually. So we had a great day making the taco soup. It was delicious. It had a real sweet flavor to it. And then that zucchini casserole was delicious too, very cheesy. It was great. And then the broccoli cheese soup is always a favorite. I love that Panera recipe. So I'll make sure to link all of the recipes below. And I thank you so much for watching. If you're new here or new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I hope to make a new video once a week on homemaking, scratch cooking, and recipes featuring maple as a sweetener. Thank you for stopping by.